We're gonna be putting this beautiful Monstera Thai Constellation into a moss pole, so it can climb and grow beautiful bigger leaves. We're gonna be using one of these clear pots. Also, we are gonna be using one of those plastic backing poles, so we can see all the roots develop. That's the whole goal with this, to be able to see the health of the roots and see them develop, that they are healthy, right? I have here ready some moss. This is some recycled moss that was left from my small cups. When I removed the baby disease from the cups, I'm left with this. So this is the moss that I use in my moss poles, the recycled one. I don't use the new one very often. Let's fill the moss pole. This clear plastic moss pole, these are really easy starter poles. These are only 24 inches to fit, and then we can be just adding. When the plant reaches almost to the top, we just add another one. Always remember to leave at least 4 inches in the bottom, 4 inches in the top. Those 4 inches in the bottom we are gonna fill with the same substrate we have in the pot. And the 4 inches, this empty 4 inches on the top, we are gonna use them to put either a bottle to be watering, or in my case a cup. I always use a cup to water my moss poles. Okay, let's get the substrate. We are gonna remove all the dirt. We gotta check this root first. Look at it. Look at the roots. Really healthy. We are just gonna do a quick cleaning. These are still the grow baggies. You gotta remove these from all of your plants when they come from the store. Let's clean it. Let's wash it. Some water here. Is enough. Let's clean this up. Okay. We have the moss pole already, 4 inches empty in the bottom, 4 inches empty on the top. We have the clean pot in here, and we are gonna fill this one. Well, first we are gonna fill the 4 inches in the bottom for the moss pole. Put this baby on the side. We are gonna use little clips to secure the plant to the moss pole. This we are just gonna need them at the beginning. Once the plant anchors its root in there, we won't need the. Okay, now we gotta be careful with monsteras. You see? We gotta define which one is the back. Monsteras, they always have this, they behave like this. They throw one leaf, the other leaf, the other leaf, the other leaf, like a fan. They're alternating the sides, so that gives you like kind of clue where the back is. In this case, you see how it's not throwing any leaves in here, because okay, that means that one is the back. All the roots are gonna be coming from here, so we are gonna put this against the moss pole. We are just gonna secure this baby here. And I told you this is just a temporary thing, just in order to put the chunky mix right now. You see, it is good in there. the root, I didn't put them all the way to the bottom because I want to give them a chance to grow to the bottom, right? So now we are gonna fill the pot. Let me remove this Velcro from here. You want that chunky mix in there to be all firm, but don't pack it too much. Okay, you want to give room for the roots. Don't pack it too much. Just tap the side so some of the spine can go down. So now, watch it. If you are able to lift the moss ball like this without your plant falling, that means you did a good job. If this happens, it means you screwed up and you gotta redo it again. Here we go. That's similar to the Dairy Queen. You see, when they lift the cone and they do it like this, stays a good job. If that ice cream falls, Okay, round 2. Okay, round 2. Should I lift it? Ta-da! And it doesn't fall. This is what you want, okay? Why did it fall the first time? I didn't pack it enough. Now we gotta water this baby. And we're gonna water it here. Gonna put some water in here. We want the pot to be really wet, but we don't want them to be sitting on water. The moss was already wet, but this is the first time it's gonna be in the pot, so we want it really wet, right? Until the next watering time. This is the nice thing with the plastic backing. Usually you don't make a mess like the one I'm doing once they are established already. gold. You see how I'm holding the pole with one hand? It's not falling. It doesn't make me look bad again. It's not falling, it is holding. Now preferably you are gonna want to give a ceramic pot, like a really heavy pot to your moss pole, because the plant eventually is gonna grow up, right? So it's gonna become heavy, top heavy, is gonna want to tilt. So if you put it in a heavy ceramic pot, it's gonna stay there. That's gonna prevent it from tilting, from falling. This is it pretty much. We just gave a moss pole to a small Thai constellation. This was easy, right? You wanna see how we watered it? This plant is easy to water right now because it is small, right? So what I do is I just use the small cups to be one of this. You just drill a small hole in the bottom. You just keep it here. You can use a smaller cup if you want. And then when you are ready to water, you just fill your cup. That one is draining all the way through because my cup has 3 holes. I couldn't find one with one. You see? That's why it's going right through. The idea is just to have one with one hole. Let me do it properly. Okay, this cup. This one is like, let me see. This one here was too big, 16 inches, so I would 16 ounces, so I would say 14 ounces, something like that. This cup would work for that type of moss pole, right? So you just grab your thingy, your soldering iron or whatever, something you can reheat, and you just drill one hole. This one I only did one. Look, just one hole, because we want that water to go down there, the moss pole, slowly. We don't want the water just to go all the way through to the pot, and it's gonna stay in the pot and it's not gonna get the moss, the sphagnum moss wet. So we want the water to remain here, draining down like slowly, as slow as possible. Let's see if this is really going to work. Okay, there I'm putting a whole cup. It's still too fast, but whatever, that's gonna do the trick. Remember, we don't want this to be sitting on water. Monsteras, they don't like wet feet, okay? So, and you are gonna be watering accordingly. You are gonna be watering your plant according to what is the temp inside your house, wherever you are gonna keep your plant. So far I have been living in main floor, second floor. Now I just moved, by the way. I haven't told you, I just moved. I'm living in a basement apartment right now, but I am able to compare right now. My watering schedule is totally different. The basement, I don't need to water like every week. I am going like every 3 weeks or so. In my second floor, I was watering my plant every week, and sometimes even every 3-4 days, because it was they were drying really fast, right? The basement, you can feel more the air conditioner and everything, so it's a cooler environment, so your plants retain water for longer time, so be careful. Just observe your plants. They are gonna tell you. Make sure the bottom of the pot is not lodging too much water because you're gonna rot your plants. Now let's talk about the mix. For the mix for this one I use cocoa chip, because we want a chunky mix, right? So I use cocoa. You can see in there is cocoa chips. I am still using peat moss. This one has a smaller quantity, right? I started my plants when I put them in the cups like this. You can, if you remember my previous video when I was transitioning my small plants from the acclimating phase after they come in the baggies with the flask, the disease and all of that. I started them in like 8 ounces cups, then I moved them to the 16 ones, and in this one I use a semi-chunky aroid mix, which was pretty much peat moss, perlite, and a slow release fertilizer. Now that I am giving them a moss pole, I am filling those pots with a more chunky aroid mix. You can see I am still putting some peat moss in there because I still wanted to retain a little bit of moist, but most of the mix is formed by the peat moss. Then I have perlite. I still put some perlite. We want aeration, right? And I'm still adding the slow release fertilizer. So you see, if I'm digging in there, you can see the peat moss in there. Just enough to keep some moist in there, but the perlite is allowing the aeration in the chunky cocoa peat doesn't allow it for it to be too wet. Okay, just the perfect combination in here. And this is gonna be it for this one, guys. Easy. We just put a Thai Constellation in a moss pole in what? Less than 10 minutes? Well, if I remove all the extra nonsense in there, it's less than 10 minutes, okay? But you gotta have everything ready. Your mix, your moss pole, everything that you're gonna be using. So one day, one weekend, you can dedicate only to have all your parts ready, to prepare all of your parts, and when you are doing stuff in bulk, right? You have all of them ready, and then you can choose another cool weekend to have a project like this, and just to give moss poles to your babies. I hope you guys like the video, and if you like it, please don't forget to give the thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, and you're gonna be helping me big time to grow my channel. Thank you so much in advance. See you next time.
Creation sings. Every stem a promise God provides, from the soil to the sky above. Every root is held in perfect love.